All right, guys, we are live. Let's just make sure everything's working here before we start. Home. We are live from Louisville, Kentucky. Let me just go here. Start. Whoops. There we go. All right, guys, so Chatt Cats Fishing here. Welcome to today's episode. We are live from Louisville, Kentucky. We are at the Catfish Conference, and I have Panfish Bill, YouTube channels Panfish, and we also got Ty Conkle with fvcatfish.com. And the Catfish Conference is something that happens once a year where all of the catfish anglers from everywhere in America come to meet once a year to collaborate, talk, network, and products being sold and so forth. So we're going to go and just do a quick Q&A session and also just talk to you guys about what's going on at the conference. There's a lot of great stuff this year. Billy, I'm going to go ahead and have him kind of start because he was here last year, and this is your second year here. So why don't you go and explain to us what's kind of been going on?
Yeah, the Catfish Conference is a bunch of vendors for catfishing that come together with usually unique wares and stuff. They also have seminars where some of the more famous catfish people, help you learn how to catfish. It's Steve Douglas and Jeff Jones Marines hosted it last year at Jeff Jones Marine, and it was kind of a small place for a whole lot of people. So this year they upgraded to the Expo Center, and there was a lot of people there. I went to the East Tennessee Fishing Show, which is a big bass show in Knoxville, and the Catfish Conference put it to shame. So they did amazing this year. And what didn't they say, like they had so many more vendors that they could have had? But
yeah, I mean, this is my first time here, and this is also Ty's first time here, but it's been a great turnout already, and there's a lot of great fishing YouTube channels here as well. So like you said, Steve Douglas is here, Chris Flores with Money River Catfishing, Luke Nichols with Catfish and Carp, and it's just, like I said, it's a great time just to collaborate, network with other people, and really just, it's also a time for you to promote your business or your products. So it's going to go all day tomorrow as well. And today was a pretty busy day, so we definitely had a lot of people here for sure. We waited in line for like a good 45 hour. Yeah. So anyway, guys, let me go and pull up the chat box real quick, and kind of, it looks like we don't have a whole lot of people asking questions yet, but I'll tell you what, guys, go ahead and start listing questions that you want answered from Ty Conkle at fvcatfish.com. If you don't know Ty is he's a captain. Okay, just got his captain's license. He has his own charter company called fishingvessel-catfish.com, and he guides out on Chickamauga and Nickajack and Watts Bar Lakes and sometimes Lakes Gunnersville. And I think I said that wrong again. Lake Gunnersville, and and then Panfish Bill here. He fishes out more near Knoxville, Kingston area. But if you guys have any questions, really, Bill?
Thanks, man.
Anyway, so like I said, I got the live chat box open here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask something, and we'll do the best we can to go through each of these comments. Tall Fisherman Jay, what's up, man? Your channel has done really well in the past year, man. If you guys don't know who Tall Fisherman Jay is, he's like the master guy of the Rocket Fishing Rod Challenge videos. So great to see you on here, man. Let's see, Fishing 10 Fisherman. When I'm float fishing with live bait or chunk cut baits, what size hooks and rigs are best? Let's see. I mean, I think if you're float fishing with big chunks of cut bait, I would go with 5/0 to a 8/0 hook. And as far as rigs, what rig would that be called? Would that be called the Sante Cooper rig if you're?
Yeah, I mean, a Sante Cooper rig is kind of for drift fishing the bottom, but he's asking when he's float fishing. So I'm assuming he's asking like a bobber type.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really do a whole lot of float fishing for a catfish, but what rig would you think would be best? I really don't know.
Probably in this instance, when you're float fishing, I prefer not to use circle hooks as much, but actually regular J hooks that when you see a float go down allows you to set the hook, because there's normally not enough resistance with a float to actually get the circle hook to set.
Gotcha.
And like you said, hooks are kind of depending on the size of the bait you're running.
That's a good point. Let's see. Fishing USA 1. Hey, just wondering, what's your biggest flathead? Mine's 54 pounds. What's yours, Billy? 17. That's a good one. Yours is
87.
Now, Ty's not going to say this because Ty is a very humbled guy, but Ty technically holds the unofficial state record for the flathead catfish at 87 pounds for the state of Tennessee. Caught it on Chickamauga Lake, but he released the fish because it took the state agency a long time to get back with him. So it was better for him to release the fish back in the water than to actually just wait and let the fish suffer or die.
We did get it on certified scales, and did have an unofficial expired biologist that was able to witness it, but it didn't count because he was not currently commissioned.
I'm going to go ahead, guys, at the end of this live stream, I'm going to put the links to these guys' channels up on this video, so make sure you give them a subscription for sure. Northwoods England, how's it going, man? Doing pretty good. Why aren't you guys here? You know, be great to see you guys. This will definitely be something for you guys to definitely come to next year. Let's see. Favorite catfish bait, Michael Apps. For me, it is skipjack herring. How about you?
Same thing.
Skipjack.
Yep.
Skipjack.
Skipjack. Michael, skipjack has a nickname of catfish candy. The catfish go crazy over it, but I mean, there's times where catfish won't work, or not cat, but there's times where skipjack won't work, and you'll want to use like cut shad or bluegill or whatever. Best bait for trot lines on the Missouri River. I would just pick baits that are natural to that specific river. I would assume, Clayton, skipjack is abundant in that area. What do you think, in the Missouri River?
Yeah.
So
there's sucker.
Yeah, suckerfish.
I hear good things about sucker on trout lines.
So, suckerfish. Let's see. Ryan, your biggest channel cat is 12 pounds. That's a good fish. Nothing to complain about that one.
I'd like to catch a 12-pound channel cat around our parts.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, the channel catfish in the Tennessee River don't get very big. Average channel catfish is like 3 to 4 pounds.
Yeah, if you catch one over 6 pounds, that's really good.
It is just crazy. You know, but the blues, the blue catfish and the flatheads, average for a blue is probably what, Ty, like 10 pounds? 10 to 12 pounds. Flatheads around the same, maybe 8 to 10. But channel catfish are really good to catch as far as quality up in the north, like around Wisconsin, Canada. Let's see. You use sheephead as stink bait? That's interesting, John. BNTCY, when the skipjacks start hot and heavy, how long does it last below Chickamauga? Really just depends on the flow and the water temperature. Usually in the springtime, the skipjack stay pretty consistent below the dams, Chickamauga, Nickajack, and Watts Bar dams. They're usually pretty consistent during the spring. But Watts Bar typically stays consistent most of the year, right?
Most of the year, except the dead of winter.
Todd, can you explain, like, you know, when do they really start making their way below the dams? Is it
About the time the shad start showing up.
okay?
So, and usually come into March. That's when the shad start making an upstream run. And this year they're definitely early.
Look at David's comment. David, we just ate. Oh, David, are you here, Lou? He suggests like him.
Well, I know some not to suggest. So we haven't found anything yet that has fast service. So
Yeah, maybe not Bob Evans. Okay, let's see. Have any of you ever caught an albino catfish? I have not. That's definitely on my bucket list, though. Have you guys caught an albino? So super rare for sure. Yep. Christian, what's up? So you're in Nashville. You fish Percy Priest Lake. The problem is it's cold and there's no bait, so I can throw some cut bait. I thrown my cast in it and got it stuck. I'm sorry, Christian. Just keep trying, buddy. If you can't get any shad or anything, try just catching a bluegill with rod and reel, and you can use that as bait. And if not, then I don't know. Like you're in Nashville. Can we?
I think I've heard good things about that lake. That's a good catfish lake to fish in.
Can you use goldfish in Tennessee as bait?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you could try using goldfish, Christian, if you can, buy some goldfish at a store, like a bait and tackle shop if they have them there. So as far as location for finding bait, if you're trying to go for bluegill, I typically get mine around docks. You can get them around down trees, rocky areas, points, and a river. Any suggestions you want to say to that?
if you could find some creeks coming in,
Yeah.
the warmest water you can find right now, which should be the creeks coming into the lakes, should be warming the quickest. Bluegill should start showing up. Pretty shallow now.
Right. What kind of catfish river rig do you use? I use a Carolina rig, and it's just where you have a sinker down to a barrel swivel, and then you have a leader line, which goes under your hook. You can choose to put a bead or like a stopper after your sinker to kind of protect that knock, but it's not necessary, but you can use that. How about you guys? Carolina rig?
Carolina three-way rigs.
Three-way rigs are really good to use, I think, especially if you're bottom balancing. But it's just a preference thing. How do you keep shad alive? Well, it's funny because at the Catfish Conference, there's a lot of different vendors there, and one of the vendors that kind of most intrigued me was there was a guy selling bait tanks, and he actually had some gizzard shad in there, like 10 or 15 of them, and they've been in there since Monday. So which I thought was pretty cool.
I was digging those tanks.
You can use aquarium salt too. Just a little bit of aquarium salt will help keep them alive too.
And your tank really needs to be round with water circulating.
Right.
Square tanks, boxes, and stuff do not work well for shad. They need to be able to keep swimming. So that's probably the key thing.
Let's see. I'm just reading some of your guys' comments. Ever fished a Hiwassee? I've never fished a Hiwassee before. I've definitely wait. I take that back. I fished the Ocoee. Is that part of the Hiwassee? The Ocoee?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think I've fished a Hiwassee.
I think part of it's closed.
I've been on the Hiwassee a couple of different times.
Ty's been on the Hiwassee a few times. I think the state record flathead catfish came out of the Hiwassee, isn't it right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some good fish in there. Bullheads are good flathead bait for sure, 100%. Really, I shouldn't say any, but flatheads, their personality is they are ambush predators. They just wait for that one good meal. So they're not going to eat as heavy as a blue catfish will, but they'll eat almost anything live, whether that's a bluegill, a bass, a carp, a sucker, bullhead, and you can use it as cut bait as well. But as long as it's fresh, and if that flathead's in the mood to eat, he will eat. So, how much time do you spend time? How much time? Whoops, the comment just went away. Let's see. Right there. Oh, there it is. How much time do you spend fishing for bait as opposed to fishing for catfish? Well, for me, Matthew, it's a good question. Typically, I get all my bait that will last me for almost the entire year. So usually every spring, I'll load up on close to 100 skipjack, or as many as I can, within a day or two, and I vacuum seal those skipjack, and I'm pretty much good on bait for the entire year. So you have, for me, I really just sacrifice like a few days to get bait that I need that will last me the entire year, and I'm pretty much set. Now, if I'm going to be going for flatheads and I want to use live bluegill, that will probably take me maybe like an hour, a little longer to get some live bluegill, maybe get like 10 of them, and then I'll just fish for catfish the rest of the day. Now, Ty, on the other hand, he's a guide, so he's fishing like 2-3 times a week or even more. And so, Ty, explain like how much time you spend and what do you do?
I'd say I probably spend a good day per month gathering up skipjack, stuff like that. If I'm live bait fishing with bluegill panfish, probably an hour up to 2 hours for a trip. If I'm doing light tackle, it's as easy as going to the grocery store and getting some chicken breast.
That's a good point. Yeah. So yeah, don't ever undermine a chicken breast, okay, as bait. It's especially good as a drift bait.
For me, last year, I was spending most of my time trying to get bait instead of catfishing, really. It was a hard year for me to catch skipjacks.
Yeah, things are about to turn around. This weather's been crazy, guys. So check this out. I don't know how it is where you guys are, but yesterday it was like 78 degrees yesterday in Louisville, Kentucky. And now it's like freaking 38 degrees. I mean, you talk about Mother Nature. It's like hot one second, then cold the other. It's just been a crazy freaking past couple days with all these drastic weather changes. Okay. Mud Dauber Outdoors, what's up, guys? Catfish Conference was great. I think there should be more vendors, though. Expected to see more. They're going to have to get a bigger place for sure.
Yeah, I was told that there were up to about 90 other vendors that wanted to get in, but there wasn't room for them.
Yeah, and I think we're all going to try to get a booth next year, and just try to promote catfishing, and that's the big thing, guys. I can go on a rant if I want to, but the good thing about this conference is it's not just about selling products, and it's just not about buying a boat or whatever, or doing this. It's really about promoting catfishing. Okay. And catfishing has gained momentum, especially in the past like 5 years. Like a lot of people want to catch the big catfish, and so I think it's important that all of us meet to network and collaborate, learn from one another, what works for you, and just sharing ideas and opinions on stuff, and so I just think it's great that we can do something like this once a year. And I think it's Jeff Jones Marine and Monster Rod Holders, and I think there's another company that are really the backbone of this conference. So if you guys ever watch Steve Douglas's videos, make sure you guys give him a shout out and thank him for hosting this, because it's really awesome. Okay. Donnie Ross, hello from Washington State. Love the videos. You've been fishing up there, up here. I've never fished in the state of Washington. You're way over on the west. I think you guys got hit by a earthquake? Or was that Oregon?
That's the coast of Oregon.
Up the coast of Oregon. Never fished up that way, but I have been to San Diego once, back in 2005. Would definitely like to come out west again. Thanks for watching, Donnie. Northwoods, if any of you guys drag baits, what speed do you look for when the water is still cold, sub 45-degree water? It's high. I'm going to have you take that one.
I've been actually doing some dragging lately. When the water's cold, just slower. Sub 45 degree. Around here, I don't do a whole lot of drifting or dragging baits when the water's probably that cold. It's more anchoring, but I don't often run anything faster than a 0.6, 0.7 mile per hour, typically when I'm dragging.
Good question, man. I typically don't drag baits. I just typically anchor fish. I do that really just all year round. I'm starting to actually learn to drift fish, and so that's something that I'm starting to pick up on. Catfish bill. Have you guys ever heard of using trout for flatheads? 100% I have.
I've actually used trout once.
So yeah, I've never personally done it, but I've definitely. I mean, you've tried it. Have you tried it before?
I haven't tried it.
So it's definitely good to experiment with that.
Didn't see money?
Yeah, Chris McEntee,
one?
I think he has used trout before and caught some nice ones. So I mean, it's definitely worked. So BNTCY, what type of catfish is your favorite to catch? I like the flathead. They're just, I don't know, for me, they're really hard for me to catch because I don't specifically target them, I guess. But I like seeing brown. I like seeing, a flathead come out of the water. They look so cool. They're very unique. They have a very unique personality. They're just, I don't know, like they're the catfish you would really want to be afraid of just because of its personality. So it's, a lot of people wouldn't think that, catfish will not eat a freaking 9-inch bluegill. It's like, no, yes, they will. Let me show you, so it's just, I don't know. I think if you're into animals or, reptiles or whatever that are kind of predator like, the flathead is definitely would be one that you would definitely enjoy catching the most. Well, what would you guys say? Flatheads?
Flathead for me.
Flathead.
Yeah, I love flatheads.
So
for me, they've been super difficult to catch. I only caught one last year.
right, but if you really want to get a big fat catfish, like fat meaning like girth, belly, you would want to go for a blue. But as far as like the flatheads will really just kind of fight to the death because they just constantly stay to the bottom, and the pull down and it freaking wears you out, man. If you have a good one on there. Dirty Ore, you say you've caught fishing dragon behind dikes on the Missouri River last week and probably 1 mile per hour. Wow.
0.1.
Oh, sorry. 0.1 mile.
Really slow.
Yeah.
And then in cold water, you got to go pretty slow.
Water temp was 42 degrees.
I think we got down to 42 maybe only once this year.
Mudobber, yeah, you said there's more apparel. It seemed like that was selling and would have liked to see hooks and bulk drift socks, more planer boards, I think. There was a lot of stuff that just went out too. I don't know what time you got there, but we got there around like 8:30 and it was just freaking packed. I mean, it was like a zoo in there. And then we left maybe around 11 and came back around 3 and it was a lot better. I'm going to be putting up a video for you guys probably sometime early next week over this whole conference. Billy did some recording today as well, so you'll kind of have different perspectives, I guess. There's going to be a lot of people, I'm sure. Let's see. Chris Flores of Money River Catfish, and he did the whole YouTube live, so you saw, kind of his scope. Steve Douglas did as well. So we're all going to be kind of having our own perspective on it.
Yeah. And I tell him, I actually did an interview with Chris Flores too. So
yeah, that'd be good for you to share with.
Yeah. I'm going to have at least everybody. 2 videos, maybe 3, because we're going to be here tomorrow too for a little bit.
Let's see here. When do you transition from deep water holes to shallow areas? That all just depends on the water temperature for me. When do you agree, Ty? With
when the bait goes from deep to shallow.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
he's exactly right too. Like, it's just how the food chain works. The catfish are going to kind of follow where the food source is. But I just noticed for me though, I guess you would have to really define shallow. I'm assuming you're talking 20 feet or less. Is that how you interpret that? I guess 20
I
feet
think
or
it'd
less.
be just depending on the river or body of water you're in.
Right.
I kind of always figured deep meaning the main channel and shallow meaning all the overstory or the flat stuff like that, bays and.
Right. Jake, Top Tactic, we're doing fine, man. Hope you're doing well. You would definitely enjoy seeing this for sure, Jake.
Hey, Jake.
Jake's my twin brother, guys. Top Tactic Fishing. Let's see here. Have you used magic thread to keep your bait on? That's what I used to use. I have not. I'm assuming you're using chicken livers or something to keep your bait intact. I'll just be honest with you guys. I typically use skipjack or some sort of cut bait as my go-to bait when fishing for catfish. If I do use chicken livers, I don't put in anything. I just use it as it is. And of course, when I'm fishing with chicken livers, which I normally don't do, but if I were, I wouldn't be casting very far. So, but no, I've never used it. Have you guys ever used chicken livers?
I made some cured chicken liver. I caught little bitty, just tiny blues from it.
Well, I mean, I've used liver, but not with the magic.
It's good. It's good to catch, like sandwich size catfish.
Crumb crunchers.
Fish for skipjack from the bank or boat, one better than the other? I mean, you may have a little more success from the boat, but it all just depends on where they are. Like I'm telling you, last March, me and another Billy caught around 100 skipjack just from the bank. It all depends on where they are, but understand if you're fishing from a boat, you'll have more water to look for them. So I guess it just depends on where they are. You'll probably, like I said, if you fish from a boat, you'll be able to look for more water and find where they are. So I'll probably say a boat in that case. Wouldn't you guys agree? A boat?
More versatility.
Yeah. Southern Ontario fishing. If you're fishing from shore, would you rig up any different than you do in your videos? No, not really. I'd still use a Carolina rig. The big thing is just making sure your bait, is on the bottom. Unless some people will use like a float and will keep their bait a little bit suspended from the bottom. I don't do that, but some people do. Would you guys do anything different if you were fishing from the bank?
You're obviously in current and you're going to be throwing out sideways. You just got to make sure you have maybe bigger weight on to keep it down and not blowing downstream.
Yeah. How about you? Would you do anything different?
Not really, no.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, a bucket list for me, Donnie, is to catch a sturgeon. I've never caught one before. Ty's caught. Have you caught one before?
I've caught one.
I think he's caught one. So
I want to catch one too.
Yeah, I would love to catch a dinosaur fish. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, he is a cute little thing too. Little nose coming up out of the water as I was reeling him in.
Let's see here. Any tips for catfish on a reservoir with very little or no current? Yeah, I drift fish for sure. I would, if you're fishing from a boat, maybe have 4 or 5 rods out and use your trolling motor to go on a path and just, you can drag the baits, which is you let the bait actually drag on the bottom, or you can keep it suspended, which maybe, I don't know, a foot or something, maybe 1.5 feet from the bottom and just kind of drift downstream. Or you can just bottom bounce, which is you're just, you're going downstream with the boat and you're just literally vertically bouncing the bait on the bottom. And that's where people can use like the rattle shakers, I guess, right, to kind of attract attention for those catfish. And you can anchor too, but just understand when you anchor, it may be hard for you to keep your boat stationary. So Any other tips you guys have?
I think you kind of nailed that.
Fish for skipjack from the bank behind the Naval Operations Support Center.
The bank there? No.
Yeah. I don't think I have. I usually catch the skipjack right below the dam, and recently I caught some right past the C. Robinson. I think that's a C. Robinson bridge, right near the boat ramp below the dam.
Oh, so you're talking there at the railroad bridge?
Yeah, the railroad bridge, right past that. That's not C. Robinson, right? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
The railroad bridge.
Just the railroad bridge. Let's see here. All we have in Pennsylvania is channel and flatheads, but I never caught a blue before. We don't have them here. It sucks. You guys, Catfish Bill, you guys have blues in the Potomac River. I don't know how far that is from you, but go to the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. They are there. Hello from South Texas. Just getting into catfishing. Enjoy your videos. Thanks for watching. GRT Payne 3. I think I said that right. Thanks for watching. Your biggest catfish was on a jig. You'll catch some flatheads, man, on jigs. Usually during this late spring, early summer, especially those crappie fishermen. They're using jigs around docks and everything. Those flatheads are like pretty much spawning, right?
They're getting ready to. I'll be eating the crappie.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Let's see. What do you need for flathead bank fishing? I mean, just a good sturdy rod. Maybe at minimum 20-pound test line. Have maybe, depending on what the current is, maybe 1, 2 to 3 ounce sinkers. Maybe like a 5/0 hook, and just cut for live bait, really, and that's all you need.
A good location.
In a good location. Those can be like, bends in a river, fishing your structure. I mean, you can always, kind of take a shot in the dark and just cast out there, because typically flatheads will usually move shallow in the evening hours during the summertime. So I'm sure something would probably prowl through, but maybe along a riprap where you see some rocks and everything, that may be a good area. Bridges would also work. I'll probably say bridges for sure. I'll probably put bridges on my list. One of you, if you're trying to fish from a bank. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Let's see. Tall Fisherman Jay, ever think about coming to South Florida? 100% yes, I have. And it would be great to fish with you too. That's like, you guys are like in the dream location when it comes to fishing, because you have salt water and fresh water down there. But yeah, man, it'd be great to definitely have a collaboration with you. We can do a funny video or something, or do like a challenge video. And it'd be great if you can come up here too. So get you on a big old blue catfish. Let's see here. Is it really that important to have rods that can handle 10 ounces of weight? Not necessarily. 10 ounces is quite a bit. You would have to be fishing like in roaring current, like in a super, super fast current. I typically just use 6 ounces. What do you think, Ty? I mean, do you got it?
Deep water too, right? Like if it's like 80 foot of water.
As long as there isn't too much current, I don't go much over 6 ounces.
Yeah,
So,
you don't have to initially have one that can go 10 ounces of weight. I mean, but you want to have a rod that is durable, that has good backbone, reliable, and just has kind of like a sensitive tip, But yeah, I mean, most rods out there today can handle pretty much anything. So just understand, if you have 10 ounces of weight, you're not going to be able to, like, I don't know. I mean, you'll be able to cast it, but it's like a slingshot or something. So you should do a challenge catfish on jigs, buy jigs with big crawl trailers. Yeah, I thought about that at some point, but that would be something to really do. It would definitely be a challenge. Have you ever figured out, my son and I are trying to figure out the skipjack. I'm not sure what you. How do you understand that question? Have you
He
figured
keeps
it?
asking questions about the skipjack, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's trying to figure.
If you're trying to catch a skipjack, use three things I would use. One, you can use a sabiki rig. Okay, sabiki rig is like a leader line with like a series of flies or something.
Fly-looking jigs.
Yeah, fly-looking jigs. You can also get a marabou jig, which you can tie 2 or 3 of those on there, or you can also do a Foley spoon. So, and they come in all different colors. Let's see. Okay, where did you get your plastic bags and pump to freeze a skipjack? I got it at Walmart. Just go in the Ziploc bag section.
Well, if they don't have it in the
you don't see it
grocery
there?
section, like my Walmart, they're over in the kitchen accessories where they sell all of that. There's like a food storage
Canning.
section,
Yeah, the
canning and all of that.
section.
That's where mine carries all the vacuum sealing stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised your Walmart doesn't have it.
Kroger's has it.
Kroger's has it.
They carry them too.
And you can look online, I'm sure, too. Go to Amazon, type in like plastic bag pump, for freezer bags or something. I'm sure you'll find something. Yep, there you go. Sorry, I didn't see that comment. Dirty or catfishing. Amazon has the best deals on bags. Okay.
I'm always so last minute though. It's like I go out and I catch a bunch of bait. And then I'm like, oh wait, I don't have any bags to store it in. I wind up going to Walmart anyway.
Yeah. Would you ever do a collaboration with Catfish and Carp? 100% I would. I actually met Luke Nichols for the first time today, and his boy Tommy was there, and so yeah, I'd be up for it for sure. I'm actually gonna try to go up there to visit my twin brother Jake, and try to do a collaboration with him, and then also with Luke Nichols. He's around the DC area. How about you guys? Would you guys be up for doing one? I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys.
I'll go with anybody.
Yeah, Luke Nichols has like the biggest YouTube channel right now when it comes to catfishing and carp. He's not strictly a catfishing channel, but he does carp as well, which I think is what makes him successful. But yeah, I'd definitely be up for it. I'll try to catch Trace. I'll try to catch an albino channel cat. Just understand it takes a lot of time and patience, but they're rare, and they're really rare. Let's see. Besides catfish, what are your other favorite fish to chase? I enjoy catching anything. Bass are fun to catch. I like the fight of a smallmouth. I like catching drum. Okay, like I just like catching anything. Ty will catch some pretty big stripers when he's catfishing. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I don't fish for stripers particularly, but I catch enough of them catfishing that it would definitely probably be my second favorite fish to go chase down. And I agree. I enjoy the drum too. They can be a lot of fun. People kind of slam the drum a lot, but
they're fun to catch. They're fun to catch on light tackle. Like I think I have a video called "They Fight Like the Devil," which they do. Like they literally fight so hard. They'll fight to the point of death almost, and they're so hard to resuscitate because they just give everything. They give everything they got or have, just so they can get away. And that's what makes them, I think, awesome fighters, especially if you're using like 6-pound line. You're like, oh, Dad, help me, and everything. And how about you? I mean, what else do you like to go for in catch?
I like to go for anything. I fish for anything. Like my last videos was going for bluegill.
Yeah.
I like big fish because they're a fight, any big fish, stripers. I want to chase muskie. That's one of the fishes I want to catch. I've got Melton Hill Lake right in my backyard pretty much, and that's muskie heaven.
Yeah, I never caught a muskie before.
A 2-pound bluegill would be
fun. That too.
Let's see. Do you ever eat catfish? If so, how do you prefer it? Donnie, I'm a CPR fisherman. I catch, photo, release. Not to say I'm against people who do take home catfish to eat, but for me, it's more of a sport. And but if I were to cook it, I know probably just bake it or something, you know. So
I ate catfish yesterday.
yeah, he
We stopped at Cracker Barrel.
yeah went to Cracker Barrel and he ate catfish. I mean, how about you, Ty? How do you prefer
I
if you?
I don't eat catfish, so I certainly can't help on that.
So we have a lot of warnings near our dams not to eat the catfish because of the high contents of
Yeah,
mercury.
PCBs and mercury.
Yeah. So, but good question. Do you ever fish at night? 100% I do. Usually it's good to fish at night during the summertime or the fall. It just depends on the day though too, how mild it is. I mean, Ty, you would do it in the winter time sometimes, right?
If it's warm, like right now, it's February, but I can guarantee you the night fishing's probably pretty good. I haven't been able to go, but
Yeah, just depends. Let's see here. Biggest striper, 6 pounds. What's your biggest striper? 1,255. I think mine was with you. Was it like 10 pounds? Close to 10 pounds?
probably, yeah.
Close to 10 pounds, something like that. Ty's is like freaking 47 pounds.
47.
And then what's your biggest striper?
I've yet.
Okay. Oh, you haven't caught a striper before?
I may have caught one and thought it was
Okay,
like a
you know
hybrid.
what? We're all you need to go with Ty, okay? He's gonna get you on one. So
Those things are fun.
they're another fish that will fight to the point of death, aren't they? Like they just
Yeah, you got to take a lot of care with them. Get them in there. They
Yeah.
can be hard to revive because they wear themselves out and nothing.
yeah. Do I use dip and punch baits? I do. I use Team Catfish, Sudden Impact, and the Secret 7. And those are really the only ones I've used so far. I have a couple that people have sent me that I haven't tried yet. But if you want to catch channel catfish, especially a lot of eaters, dip baits and punch baits will work like a charm. If you're in the right area, good location, it'll definitely work. Do you guys use any punch? You guys,
I don't anymore,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, not often.
let's see. Catfish Bill, I only have one carp video out, and that's where I caught a grass carp. I was actually talking to Luke Nichols about this, and he said Jesus still loves me because I haven't caught my first common carp yet. But I would definitely love to catch some carp. I just haven't, I guess, spent a lot of time trying to do it. But I did catch a grass carp last summer, and it was a blast. I tell you what, grass carp, whew, man, they're just heck of a fighters. They're super smart too, and very finicky, very skittish. But I'll get one out for you this year. Yeah, it'd be cool to go for a carp, you know. Because I can see them splashing around when I'm catfishing. I can see them splashing around like in the water, and it's usually the smallmouth buffalo doing the same thing. How do you rate creek chubs for bait? The larger ones, and if so, live or cut bait? I like using creek chubs in smaller rivers. Okay, and the reason why I like them for small rivers is because they seem to be in some ways like the top of the food chain when it comes to like catfish bait. Okay. I mean, yeah, you can use skipjack and everything, but I've always done really well with creek chubs and smaller rivers. So this past summer, me and Dave went fishing, and we fished the Great Miami River, and we were using creek chubs, and we caught a 20-pound flathead, which was a really nice fish. Have you guys tried creek chubs before?
I have not since I've been in Tennessee.
I have. That was the only flathead I caught last year
Yeah.
with all the creek chubs.
Sweet.
I love creek chubs.
Creek chubs are a really good bait to use, like I said, in small rivers where I'm not talking like Tennessee River, Mississippi River. I'm not saying you can't catch a catfish on a creek chub in those rivers, but just with greater success. They seem to work really good in smaller rivers and creeks. Live or cut bait, it just depends. The fish will let you know what they want. If they're not hitting the live, try cutting it up, and then you should be able to find out what they prefer. Would I go to catch a Wells catfish in England if I could afford it? Yes.
You want to hook me up?
Yeah, it'd be great if you could get us out there. We'll definitely be up for that. How does Ty like the new quiet four-stroke? That's to you.
Really? That's my question.
That's your question.
I love that thing. That's the best change I've made on my boat since I've had it, really. I went from a 90 horsepower two-stroke to the 115. I'm getting 3 times the mileage I was, and not having to mix oil, and it's quiet, and I've got way more horsepower. My whole shot's better. Very, very pleased with it. I haven't had any issues.
The four-strokes are definitely better for your buck in the long run, and you'll save more on gas driving that thing than you will with a two-stroke. And it starts up just like a car. You don't have to spend a lot of time cranking it while you're on the ramp, and it just starts right away. Oh goodness. Let's see. What is your favorite bait for channels and flatheads? Channels, Brasco, 0513. Channels probably for me is a stink bait. Like I've caught a lot of channels on the sudden impact, and that's a very good bait to use. Flatheads usually using live bait, but I will say I've caught more flatheads on cut skipjack than I have on bluegill or cut bluegill or any sort of brim of that matter. As long as the bait is fresh, the flathead will take it. And you guys can both agree. Do you want to elaborate on that a little more, guys, as far as the fresh bait for flatheads? Or
well, a lot of people say live bait for flatheads, but you can catch them on cut bait. And some people will swear by it. I mean, you think the same thing, Ty?
Yeah, it's pre-spawn. Cut bait's the only thing really to use. That's kind of my thing. And as long as it's good and fresh, it's had great success on cut bait prior to the spawn. After the spawn, I usually kind of go live bait, but can still catch them on cut bait. Just depends on what they're feeding on that particular day and where you're fishing.
I think they feel the stress. Like if you have either a dying piece of bait or freshly dead piece of bait, they can still sense, especially flatheads. Blues, they don't care. They're just eat whatever's in front of their face when they're hungry. But a flathead, they want that fresh kill pretty much. So they'll go for the wounded fish. If they're really hungry, they will go for whatever's in front of them that's alive.
It just depends. Have I ever used a Charlie Brown hooks? I don't think so. Have you guys used Charlie Brown hooks?
I haven't.
Have you, Billy?
No, I haven't.
I don't think I have. Let's see. Bass are bite on the chick. You should come.
About that.
Yeah, you should come. Yeah, one of the local guides, Richard Sims. He's probably not watching this, but he caught a 12-pound bass like a couple weeks ago on Chickamauga Lake, and it's definitely beginning to pick up. So general rule of thumb for me, and people can disagree if they want, and that's fine, but when the bass bite is good, the catfishing is horrendous. But when the catfishing's like superb, the bass bite is not really that great. So that's just what I've learned in my own experience. And you guys were saying that the lake hasn't been that great for catfish, really, right? But the bass has
slowed down.
Yeah,
the bass has picked up.
That's what I'm saying. It's just weird how that transition works. Team catfishing, you were there all day today. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be there tomorrow, so if you're there tomorrow, make sure you come find us, and we'll definitely say hello. With all this YouTube money, are you going to upgrade your electronics? I'm not getting paid that much. I got 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. I'm a teacher, and you guys know teachers don't get paid a whole lot. I mean, but right now I'm running a 688 downscan Humminbird sonar system, and I've had it for about 3 years now, and I love it. Like, you know, I don't feel like I have to have all the high technical stuff. You know, Ty, you know, may have to have something a little bit more fancy because he's a catfish guide and he needs to put people on fish like pretty much right away, right?
Yeah, there's always pressure.
I mean,
That's kind of stressful.
someone like me, you know, I'll be content catching like 3 or 4 fish, but Ty here, you know, if he's taking out people, and you know he's getting paid, he has to do the best he can, just not to get quality fish, but just keep the action consistent. You know, so can you say hi to me? My name is Braden.
Hi, Braden.
Hey, Braden. Thanks for watching. You gonna say hi?
Hi, Braden.
Just guessing. Guys, we're gonna close this down in about 10 minutes. So if you have any more questions, be sure to. The phone. Yes, Matthew, I like the fold and troll. It's actually a great rod holder system because it actually goes into your the chair. What do you call it? The chair holder, or the socket for it. So I can actually exchange my rod holders out and put the chair in. But it's great. You know, I usually just tie it down with bungee cords down to the back cleats in the boat. But it works great. Easy to take off, easy to put back on, and you know, so I was really lucky to get that. Guys, I apologize for the clarity in the video if it's bad, but internet's getting a little sketchy right now. So if the internet clocks out or whatever, that means we're done. Let's see here. Yeah, grass carp fight, man, I'm telling you. What reels do you use and what brand and pound test is best? I use Akuma reels. Actually, Ty was the one that threw those reels, but I use the Akuma Classic XT CLA and LA. There's 2 different models for those, but if you just type in Google whatever Akuma Classic CLX, yeah, 300L. Sorry, you'll find them. Let's see, what brand braid? I really don't use test. Just depends on how much line you want spooled. But I would say a safe bet is like 20 pounds. But how about you guys answer that question now?
My braid, I've used Power Pro. Today at the conference, I picked up some Vicious. So I'm really excited about trying that out. The colors were cool, and I needed some new braid anyway. So interested to see how that works.
I like 50 pound. I had 65 pound, and if you get a snag on it, it is painful to break.
Oh man, and I bought 80 today.
Yeah.
Might pull up the bottom before it breaks.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a Catfish clothing shirt? I just got offered to be sponsored by them today. Yes, I am. Yeah, I was talking to one of the guys there, and I actually may have him do me some mock-up shirts over my logo. So I like the fact that designs down the sleeve. So definitely a great company for sure, and that's awesome that you're getting sponsored by them. Braden, we just said hi to you a while back, but hi again. Let's see. Do you follow the back?
Man, he's Right, they are really shallow right now.
Yeah, they are. I don't know how you guys feel about mystery tackle box, but I did a mystery tackle box slam, and a 32-pound blue in around 20 feet of water. So best to get one during this time of the year. But how do you send fan mail? I have an address down in my video description. P.O. Box is P.O. Box 17486, Chattanooga, Tennessee 37415. So if you look in the video description of this live stream and all my other videos, you'll see my P.O. Box. Let's see. You're welcome, Catfish Bill. Tight lines, buddy. Use that term. I use that term. Thank you, BNTCY. Let's see. What hook for flatheads every time? Gut hook the. If you're gut hooking flatheads, maybe you're not setting the hook maybe too soon. Or hooks. Okay, whenever this fish. I mean, what do you guys think? So his problem is that he's gut hooking.
Be a good thing if you're not using one to help prevent that. And
don't use treble hooks. Maybe that.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing.
Yeah.
Stay away from the trebles and hooks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they might be too long. Good tension on it, so they don't have it so long that they're able to completely swallow it.
But I mean that's a good question though, because there's times where I've gut hooked fish just because I didn't simply set the hook too soon, like he was just staying on it, and that happened this past summer up on the Great Miami River where, me and my dad and my older brother were fishing, and a flathead took it, but the rod didn't go down, and he just had it in its mouth, and he was probably on it for like close to 10 minutes. And then the rod just started going like this. And I'm like, oh, it's probably a channel cat. Reeled it in. I was like, oh, wow, it's a 20-pound flathead. And I mean, his gut hooked like all the way down. And sometimes it's inevitable, but like Ty said, just, try to stay away from the treble hooks and use circle hooks. Used Lou's round reel before. Have you guys? No. Have you used it before?
No, but I saw it at the Catfish Conference.
Oh, okay.
Looks pretty good.
Man, Billy is posting questions on here. What time are we fishing tomorrow? I don't know. We can go now. Let's see. Thanks for answering my questions. Yep, no problem, Matthew. What is your guys' personal best catfishes? Michael, my personal best is 90 pounds.
90 pounds.
This is 90 pounds as well. What's yours?
31.
If you check out the video called The Fish Thief, Billy.
And that's for blues, right?
Yeah, that's for blues, yes. Let's see. Every YouTube channel is probably uploading videos right now from that hotel. That's why the connection is dropping. Laugh out loud. Huh. All right, well, there's been a lot of people for sure doing the live YouTube thing too, so. Does Panfish Bill have a channel? He sure does, Matthew. I'm going to put a link of each of these guys' channels in the video description. We're done with this live stream, so, and I have them on my future channels too. If you look on the right side of my YouTube page, I have both of them there.
You can also go to panfish.net. It goes directly to my YouTube page.
That's a good point.
And then I set the up right there.
On cloud for today since you were gone. I'm talking about the fence hole. Cool. Would you like to come to California and catch bass and stripers? Yeah, if I can just get a way to get out there. big state, and I'm sure there's a lot of big fish over there. I don't hear much of anybody catching anything over there as far as like, guides or anything. Do you?
No, I know they have them, but don't hear a whole lot come out of California. And I'm from Arizona originally, so right next door.
All right, guys, we're going to go and call it quits now. It's 9 o'clock, so we got another big day tomorrow. So I tell you what, though, Ty Conkle is a catfish guide on the Tennessee River. So if you're wanting to go on a crazy adventure in regards to catching a lot of fish and the potential of catching a monster, check out fvcatfish.com. He has great rates. And if you tell him that Chatt Cats Fishing, you're subscribed to this channel, he'll give you a 10% discount off the trip. Okay, and then make sure you catfish.net. Just give us some love and support, guys, okay? Because we're trying to promote catfishing, and we want to represent you guys as well in the process. Watching, we'll see you guys later.